You aren't looking for sugar-coated advice. You're here because you want to break into the top 1%, right? You want to understand the real rules of money power and truly master your wealth as we head into 2026. So this isn't about playing it safe just to stay average. We're doing a tough love, high-energy masterclass designed to take you all the way from financial basics straight through to advanced wealth-building strategies. Go ahead and grab a mental pen and paper because we're going to break down some harsh realities today, but also some absolutely crucial strategies.
It really is the ultimate question, isn't it? Why exactly do hardworking people stay poor? I mean, we're taught from childhood that if you just put your head down, work hard at a 9 to 5, you'll eventually get rich. But look around. The person grinding away, totally stressed out, just waiting for a monthly salary that completely vanishes in weeks, they are working incredibly hard, yet they stay broke. The harsh reality here is that hard work alone just doesn't equal wealth. Financial ignorance is the real bottleneck. You can literally work 100 hours a week, but if you don't know the rules of how money operates, you're always going to be a slave to it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the masterclass. 1. The wealth mindset. 2. The real inflation trap. 3. Debt and lifestyle creep. Then we're going to elevate to the advanced strategies. 4. The power of compounding. 5. Smart investing rules. And finally, 6. Future-proofing finances.
Starting right at the top, Section 1, the wealth mindset.
You know, breaking into that top 1% doesn't actually start in your bank account. It starts entirely in your head. Take a look at this stat. 80%. A staggering 80% of millionaires are completely self-made. Let that sink in for a second. This totally shatters the most common excuse we hear, right? People love to say, oh, I wasn't born into a rich family, or they just got lucky. No way. The vast majority of wealthy people started with absolutely nothing but a system, a solid work ethic, and the correct financial rules. If they can do it, the only thing stopping us is the framework we're operating from.
The contrast here is just night and day. On one hand, you have the poor mindset, which assumes money is inherently scarce and super difficult to earn. This leads to endless excuses like, I just don't have time to save, or investing is way too risky. Honestly, it's fundamentally a form of laziness. It's a reluctance to take action. But on the flip side, the rich mindset views money purely as a tool. Instead of making excuses, it finds solutions. People with this mindset acknowledge that money is basically just a game with specific rules, and they commit to learning those rules.
Moving on to Section 2, the real inflation trap. This right here is the silent wealth killer. It's actively destroying your savings while you sleep. Now, governments might tell you that inflation is hovering around, say, 4 to 6%, but the reality? Real inflation is eating away 8% to 10% of your purchasing power every single year. Think about a simple street snack like a samosa. A few years ago, it was 5 rupees. Today, it's 20 rupees. If you just kept your 5 rupees sitting in a savings account, you wouldn't even be able to afford that exact same samosa today. Your money is literally losing its strength.
Now, what's really interesting about this is where the inflation hits the hardest. The Standard Consumer Price Index tracks absolute basics, but if we look at actual major life expenses, education is climbing by over 10% annually. Healthcare, a terrifying 13 to 14%, and things like housing and gold are growing by roughly 10%. These are the big-ticket items of a normal middle-class life. If your investments aren't beating these specific numbers, you are quietly getting poorer without even realizing it.
So let me vigorously break down the math for you to prove this, especially when it comes to the traditional fixed deposit, or FD. Let's say you earn an attractive 7.4% interest. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Step 2, the government taxes that interest at your 30% income slab. Now your net effective return drops to just 5.18%. Step 4, subtract that 8% real inflation we literally just talked about. The result? You are effectively losing roughly 3% of your purchasing power every single year. Leaving your money purely in the bank actively destroys your wealth in 2026.
All right, Section 3, debt and lifestyle creep.
Modern capitalism is definitely a double-edged sword. It allows anyone to get rich, sure, but it also pushes you to constantly consume. The renowned author Richard Templar emphasizes a really crucial rule to fight this. You have to separate your needs from your wants. A need is absolutely crucial for survival and work. We're talking a basic functioning phone, healthy food, a reliable vehicle. A want, however, is driven by ego and the fear of missing out. It's buying the absolute latest smartphone on an EMI plan, or dining out at crazy expensive restaurants just so you can post it online. Confusing a want for a need is the absolute fastest track to going broke. So,
The crucial point is avoiding these engineered traps. You'll see your old school or college friends upgrading their cars, and it's going to give you severe FOMO. Ignore it. And please, don't fall for the illusion of credit card reward points. They are specifically designed to make you overspend. Taking out personal loans or EMIs for depreciating assets like expensive clothes or gadgets is just financial suicide. And never, ever try to compete with the ultra-rich. Somebody earning millions in passive interest can afford a lifestyle that would bankrupt you in a single month. Run your own race.
Moving into the advanced stuff, Section 4, the power of compounding.
To transition from avoiding financial traps to actually building serious wealth, you need to harness compounding. And we do this using the rule of 72. It's a remarkably simple yet totally vital formula. You just divide the number 72 by your annual interest rate, whatever number you get, that tells you exactly how many years it'll take for your invested capital to double. It's an awesome mental shortcut that empowers you to evaluate any investment instantly.
Let's actually run some numbers to see this rule in action. Say you're getting a 7% return. Well, 72 divided by 7 means your money doubles in about 10 years. But look what happens when you optimize your strategy to hit a 12% return. Suddenly, it only takes 6 years to double. Push that up to 15% and your money is doubling in under 5 years. Just a few percentage points completely change the speed of your wealth creation. The scale of your capital, mixed with the right interest rate, is literally everything.
Next up, Section 5, Smart Investing Rules.
Now, knowing how money grows is pretty much useless if you don't know how to earn it safely first. Before you invest, you must scale your income. You can't get rich just by saving pennies. So first, upgrade your job address. Research proves time and again that moving to a high-paying city or a richer country directly raises your earnings ceiling. Second, specialize. You want to dominate a specific niche where you're the absolute expert. And third, actually, scratch that popular internet advice telling you to do the bare minimum at work. Be an indispensable A-player employee. The best employees almost always eventually make the best, most successful entrepreneurs. Once your income is scaling up, you've got to remember this really profound quote. There is a boring way to get rich and a quick way to get poor. The quick way to get poor is chasing things like highly leveraged options trading, borrowing way beyond your means, or throwing all your money into the stock market at its absolute peak just because your neighbor is doing it. Keep in mind, the Japanese stock market crashed in 1989 and literally took 3 decades just to recover. Don't chase the quick thrill. Instead, you need to follow these non-negotiable rules. First, pay yourself first. The day you get paid, deduct your savings before you spend a single dime. Second, have the patience to invest consistently for 10 or more years. Wealth takes time. Third, be super cautious about deploying big lump sums at all-time market highs. And finally, diversify. Don't rely on just a single asset class. Saving a small, consistent percentage across equities, real estate, or gold over time is infinitely better than gambling the whole shebang on one hot tip.
And finally, Section 6, future-proofing your finances.
Earning and investing? That's your offense. But to sustain that wealth in 2026 and way beyond, you've got to play a flawless defense. One medical emergency or a bad legal issue can wipe out literally years of compounding. Protection is mandatory. Eradicate any high-interest personal and credit card debt immediately. It's a massive financial anchor. Lock in solid health and term life insurance so you're protected from sudden shocks. Make sure to build a 6 to 12-month liquid emergency fund. And importantly, practice smart, logical generosity. Help others, for sure, but do it with your head, not just your heart, making sure you don't compromise your own financial security in the process.
Well, we've covered the mindset, the math, the traps, and the real rules of money power. But look, passive consumption changes absolutely nothing. Action does. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder today. What single, specific financial habit are you going to change right now to secure your wealth in 2026? Will you start paying yourself first? Are you finally going to cut up that credit card? The rules are laid out right in front of you. Now it's your move.